We are going to do a video on UK Health Secretary Matt Hancock. This guy set up pretty much all the quarantine, all the lockdown, all the restrictions in the UK. And he got busted breaking his own restrictions. Not only that, he got busted breaking his own restrictions as he was cheating on his wife. Not only that, he was hooking up with a woman that he had hired on his staff with UK taxpayer money. Not only that, he has apologized and Boris Johnson has accepted his apology, but he has not said he is going to resign, and Boris Johnson is not making him resign. What more can you say, guys? What more can you say? Let's go back to the US, though. And I put out this meme the other day with a map of Texas, where the border crisis is, and where VP Harris ended up going. So you can see she is 1,000 miles away from the actual crisis. She's in El Paso. The actual crisis is way, way, way down. And Jack Posobiec comes up with perhaps the best one-liner I have heard on this story. And he says, she might as well just go to Europe. That is just fantastic. Of course, we all remember her interview with Lester Holtz, Harris's interview with Lester Holtz, where he says, well, you have not been to the border. And she says, well, I haven't been to Europe either. And then she cackled. And so here you have it. Just go to Europe, Kamala. Just go to Europe. You'll probably get more done on the border in Europe than you're going to get done in El Paso. Just saying. Anyway, guys, that's a fantastic tweet, fantastic meme. Before we get to the Hancock story, let me just play you this video. This comes from Summit News. The title of the article says, MP says important people shouldn't need to quarantine under COOF rules. Important people do not need to lock themselves up, according to this MP in the UK. And this all has to do with the Euro 2020, UEFA, FIFA officials that are going to be coming into town. They're going to be arriving into the UK. And of course, there are no restrictions on these very important individuals. And this guy just comes out and says it. He just says it. This MP just flat out says, well, important people, they don't need to isolate themselves. They don't need to quarantine. Important people are above restrictions, right? As we are seeing with Mr. Hancock as well. So let me play this video here, and then we'll get to the Hancock story.
David Davis has called that morally inconsistent.
Well, we've always said that for some people who are important, players, for instance,
people
we've had
who want to go on holiday are not important. Is that what you're saying?
No, of course not. But we're talking a very limited number of people who are coming in, and they're also subject still to quite significant restrictions. They're not just able to come in and travel around Britain. They come in to attend a match and then go away again. We wouldn't have been able to host the tournament at Wembley if we hadn't allowed the players and people associated with the teams to come in to do so.
Okay, so the tweet from Kay Burley says, important for football or morally inconsistent, UEFA and FIFA officials will be allowed into the UK to attend the Euro 2020 finals. But is that fair when we can't visit many of our holiday destinations? Here's what Media Minister John Whittingdale thinks. Now, she gave some pushback, which was good. But to be fair, he says, of course, only important people don't have these restrictions. But he also says we wouldn't be able to have hosted the Euro if we had placed restrictions on these people. And now we get to the Matt Hancock story coming from Summit News, which says yet another lockdown architect caught violating lockdown rules. Health secretary caught kissing mistress at a time when Brits were told they shouldn't shake hands. Health Secretary Matt Hancock has been having a secret affair with his closest aide, reports The Sun. He cheated on his wife with Gina Colandangelo, 43, who he hired last year with taxpayers' money as COOF gripped Britain, of course. Of course he hired her with taxpayers' money. Of course he was having an affair with her. Of course he was cheating on his wife. Of course he was breaking lockdown, breaking quarantine, breaking restrictions. And of course he will not be fired. And of course he's not resigning. Of course. The photos were taken on May 6 when restrictions that prevented people from meeting indoors and even shaking hands with each other were still in place. Hancock's affair almost certainly was going on for much longer before that. According to a government whistleblower, it was shocking that Mr. Hancock was having an affair in the middle of a pandemic with an advisor and friend he used public money to hire. Here you can see the photos, the Sun exclusive, shocking evidence of Matt Hancock's secret affair with closest aide caught on camera. This is the guy that Boris Johnson actually called with the text messages to Dominique Cummings, WhatsApp messages to Dominique Cummings. Boris Johnson called this guy pretty much a loser. Well, Boris, you're right. He wasn't able to do his job. He said the guy sucked. Anyway, it looks like Boris was right. Now fire the guy. Jeez, man. What a mess. Hancock has denied any wrongdoing and claims no rules were broken. His behavior mimics that of Professor Neil Ferguson, whose warning that 500,000 Brits could die of coof unless a lockdown was imposed became the basis for government policy. Ferguson repeatedly violated the lockdown in order to have sex with 38-year-old married mother of two, Antonia Stats, who traveled across from London to visit Ferguson on several occasions. Of course he had an affair. Of course she traveled across London to visit him. Of course they broke all the rules that he was putting in place. Paul Joseph Watson has a tweet here which says, Hancock treated the virus so seriously he had his tongue down his mistress's throat all day, then went home to his wife and 3 kids. Really makes you think. What a freaking S show. What a freaking S show. What a malaka. Man, Boris, if you don't fire him, you're going to end up looking like a malaka if you don't end up firing this guy. Just take the advice of your own WhatsApp messages and get rid of him. That's all I have to say. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Go to our locals community and let me know what you think of this story. Post your own stories about Matt Hancock there. You'll find a link down below. Duran Shop 10% off when you use the code Real News, and check us out on free speech video platforms SuperU, ODYSEE, and BitChute. Take care.